This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers.
Detroit will kick this one off. Number 30, Wayne Jr.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports.
Kickoff return for a touchdown.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Watch you now, Barney. Barney. Over.
Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. It's caught inside the 25. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Check 9. No. Check. Patriot. Watch you now, Barney.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back.
Detroit! Hey, 4 down. Over! Whip. Watch you now, Barney.
They'll set up a throw. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long.
We got trips over here. That's overload.
They'll drop to throw. This will be caught inside the 10. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Now Jones. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Packers take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. Extra point forthcoming. kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Four down, four down. Motion, motion, motion.
Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Footing's definitely going to be an issue because it's tough to make those quick cuts that you're used to making on a soggy track. In fact, a Hall of Fame runner once told me, cut on your heels in this type of weather. Gives you better balance.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12.
Big series right here. We got to step it up.
On second down, it's Bell. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Third and 11. And some extra depth to the secondary here. They're in the dime.
Even. 4 down. Detroit! Detroit! Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
Now back to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. He has been interception prone here in his rookie season. How patient can they be with him?
That is the key question, isn't it? A lot of it depends on the head coach, what type of defense you have, and just a general understanding of the makeup of him. But the bottom line is you posed a great question. Are they at the stage where they've run out of patience and now they get to demand production? Or do you continue to stay with him this way?
Over! Watch him now, Barney! He's crashing.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Throw left side complete. That's Lamb. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Let's go, fellas. We got 4 down. Let's go. Detroit! Watch him now, Barney! We got 4 down. Motion. Over!
They'll look to throw now on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. So after the incompletion, second and 10 from the 22.
He's tight right here. He's tight on the right. Over! 4 down. Check.
Back to throw now on second and 10. And this is caught at the 8. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's first and goal. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. They'll try again here from the 7 on second and goal.
Watch him now, Barney!
He's going to get it running right. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. A great effort there with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Packers add on to their lead. This time, the extra point up and good. And the lead now stands at 13. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Lions now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. He'll drop to throw. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 5 on the screenplay, and that'll set up a third down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It goes for a gain of 10, and it's a first down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
First carry for a Kenosha native and former Badger, Melvin Gordon. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be third down.
Gone! Detroit!
Looking to throw. And he coughed it up. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53.
Now Gordon on first down. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Here comes the boom. I see you, boy. I see you. All right, here we go. Blue 90.
to the ground, this time with Bell. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. The big nose tackle, Danny Shelton, there to swallow him up.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
This offense 2 for 2 on third downs on this drive. They're in for a tough test here, though. 3rd and long.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56.
Back to throw here. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander, and he returns it up just shy of the 20 to the 19-yard line. He's had his interception woes early in his rookie season, but sometimes that happens. There are great examples of guys in the past that have had those same struggles early.
You are so correct, and what the team and organization is hoping, we're going to see these woes now, but later when we're helping him with his Hall of Fame speech, we'll remember his rookie year and how things began.
They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Second down, it's Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Oh, yeah! Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right. Watch him now, Barney. Barney. Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Agnew. And they will finally bring this run back to an end, but not before he's down inside the 5-yard line at the 4. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Shut down. Motion, motion. Check, check, check. Shift. Switch, 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 switch. Check 31, check 31.
Now Bell. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Le'Veon Bell, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now 13-7. So here comes the kickoff, and what now is just a one-score, 6-point game. And he almost flirted with disaster there, but it does get into the end zone before going out, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know. We know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, and the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
He sets up the screen to Jones. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up third.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. A minute 59 to go in the first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. On fourth down, here's Lachlan Edwards to punt it. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Lions will take over. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
Here we go.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. A screen to Bell. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now second and 13.
Now, check. Patriot. Patriot. All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Hot.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to wind up and air it out. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. That's an experience. Picking off a rookie, and you know sometimes those experienced DBs, they love going against the young pups, don't they?
And I go back to the offseason, had a quick conversation with him about, hey, when you play younger quarterbacks, what's it like for you? And he says it's like being a boxer. I give him a lot of different angles, a lot of different looks, and a lot of times I just bait the young guy.
And there he baited him right into the interception. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. He'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. The pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on first down, then a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback, because that was awfully close.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. On the counter, here's Jones. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions. As the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number one. Here's Lachlan Edwards now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And this will be taken at the 13. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to try and go deep again. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah,
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct.
Watch you now, Barney.
Back to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Griffin. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A good pickup there, a 22. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
3-19. Over.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
Over. Watch you now, Barney. Detroit.
They go play action here on first down. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Gun! Over! Watch you now, Barney! Check nickel!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And that'll carry over the back line. Zone for a touchback. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up. And we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. They'll start the third quarter on the ground with Gordon. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The Lions on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19. Army. Detroit.
They'll set up to throw. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Now it's Hammond. It's a 39-yard punt, 8 on the return, and this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense,
we
got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Watch him now, Barney.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Watch him now, Barney. Gun. Over.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He's going to fire this thing deep right side, and he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. In for the score, and the Packers add 6 to their lead.
I think if you pulled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
And that one carries out of the side of the end zone for a touchback, so that will come out now to the 25-yard line. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Detroit! Detroit! 4 down, 4 down. All right, here we go.
They're going to look to throw. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Partner, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting at 50% thus far.
Certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Motion, motion. Mike 27, Mike 27, Mike 27. Let's go, D. Tighten up. Let's go, D. Tighten up.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Packer pressure, and down he goes.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Hammond now to return. 12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10.
Even. 4 down. Even. Set. Green 39. Green 39. Mike. 57's the Mike. You're trapped. You're trapped. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Barney. SOS. SOS.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, it's Jones. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. to Jones. He'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney! Hey. 4 down, 4 down. Check.
So give this to Jones. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
Over! Gun!
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Watch 84.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Over. 57.
In your face.
They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. A great play there. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Packers add on to their lead. The point after is good. And that will make this a 19-point game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
Watch the right. Watch the right. Who that? Who that? Hey, check Mike 27. Check Mike 27. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And he stopped immediately there.
Leopard.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
The Lions on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Me. I got Detroit. Detroit. I got this. Mike 27. Mike 27. Mike 27.
They'll set up a throw.
You.
And incomplete here on third down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Detroit! Detroit! Move! Detroit! Detroit! Hey, check Mike 27. Check Mike 27. I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son. Detroit! Detroit! Mike 27. Mike 27. Mike 27.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Flush to his right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Over! 57. Mike, 57. Over!
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Lamb. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A really nice gain of 25 yards. The 3 red zone trips, 3 touchdowns so far. They'll look for a 4th on 2nd and goal.
Check 52. Over!
Now Jones. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
Check Mike 27. Check Mike.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
They'll come out throwing here on first down, eluding the pressure right. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle, and he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Ball on the 30 as they come up, 2nd and 10.
Single. Check three.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Coming after you.
Over.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Hold this. Alert three. Motion, pump.
He'll drop to throw. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
3-19. 3-19.
Check Mike 27. Check Mike.
Gun. Detroit.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And now here is another interception. Picked off around the 37. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They'll go again to Jones. And they'll get this down to the 10. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
They get it to him running left. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost.
Over! Watch him now, Barney!
Shift.
third down. It's Frazier, and he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a gain of 8, and it's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This fielded at the 2. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. But he can't get away forever, and down he goes. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
See what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage.
Hurry up, here we go.
But correct.
Green 39.
No pick,
Green
just incomplete
39.
that time.
Over.
He's crashing.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 17 yards on the pickup there, and also a first down. Looking to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here, as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Blue 90. Gun.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, they really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
They'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. They'll drop the throw. And that's incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game.
Tight right.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Packers D comes up with a big stop. So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10.
Lucky 56. Three down, three down. Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319.
Under crutch.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick. But instead it falls down incomplete. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit! Over!
It's gonna be a long day.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Busts like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll pitch it out to Jones. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. This is taken at about the 14. A good return there, 17 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Or are you one of those guys
I'm a little
skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Packers, it's a win that might keep them alive in the playoff race as they're back to 500 at 5-5. And they'll get another home date next week as the Saints will come to town. Meanwhile, for Detroit, it was a game they really needed as they drop back to 4-6. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home.
Rappers name